Hi everyone. My name is Nana Kweku Akon. I'm a perioperative nurse and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of NKA Surgical 101. On this particular episode, I want to briefly talk about surgical sutures. A surgical suture is a medical device that is used to hold body tissues back together after an injury or after surgery. Most of the times in surgery, tissues are cut or opened, and after the procedure, these tissues are put back together, and this is specifically made possible by the use of surgical sutures. Today on this episode, we are going to make surgical sutures very simple. We are going to break it down into the simplest way for everybody to understand. When we are talking about surgical sutures, we have two main groups of surgical sutures that we use in theaters. One, absorbable suture, and two, the non-absorbable suture. And under each of them, the absorbable and the non-absorbable sutures, we have the synthetic and we have the natural. So we have synthetic absorbable suture, we have natural absorbable suture, we have synthetic non-absorbable suture, and then we have natural non-absorbable suture. So as already discussed, there are two main categories of sutures. We have the absorbable and the non-absorbable sutures. And under each of them, we have the synthetic and then we have the natural. So we have synthetic absorbable suture and then we have natural absorbable suture. Same as with the non-absorbable, synthetic non-absorbable sutures and then natural non-absorbable sutures. So with absorbable sutures, synthetic absorbable sutures, an example of a synthetic absorbable suture is the vicryl. And this is how the vicryl looks like. This is one piece of a vicryl suture, and then it comes in a box like this. Another example of a synthetic absorbable suture is the monocryl. And this is how the monocryl looks like, the monocryl suture. Another example of the synthetic absorbable suture is the PDS, and this is how the PDS also looks like. So sutures, absorbable and non-absorbable. When you talk about absorbable sutures, we have synthetic and natural, and under synthetic we have the PDS, we have the monocryl, and then we have the vicryls. They all fall under the synthetic absorbable sutures. Then talking about the natural absorbable sutures as well, they are called natural absorbable sutures because they are made out of the tendons of certain animals. That's why it's called the natural absorbable suture. An example of a natural absorbable suture is the gut sutures. So an example is the chromic cat gut, which is a natural absorbable suture. Another example is the plain cat gut suture, and they all fall under the natural absorbable sutures because they are made from the tendons of certain animals. That's why they are natural. So natural absorbable sutures. So on a review, we have absorbable sutures, and under absorbable sutures we have the synthetic and then we have the natural sutures. So under the synthetic sutures we have the vicryls, we have the monocryls, we have the PDS. They all fall under the synthetic absorbable sutures. And with the natural absorbable sutures, we have the guts. An example is the chromic cat gut and then the plain cat gut. They all fall under the natural absorbable sutures. The second part of the suture tree is the non-absorbable suture. And as already discussed, with a non-absorbable suture, we also have the natural and the synthetic aspect of the non-absorbable sutures. So we have natural non-absorbable sutures and we have the synthetic non-absorbable sutures. So an example of a synthetic non-absorbable suture is the echelon and then the prolene. This is how the echelon looks like, the echelon, and then this is how the prolene also looks like, and they all comes in various boxes like this. So echelon and prolene for synthetic non-absorbable sutures. The other part is the natural non-absorbable suture, and an example is the silk suture. This is how the silk suture looks like, and that is an example of a natural non-absorbable suture. The other types are the surgical cotton and the surgical steel, and they are the natural non-absorbable sutures. Surgical sutures comes with various specifications, and in some of the upcoming videos I'll take my time to explain a lot of the things that we need to know about surgical sutures, like the size of the suture, the color of the suture, whether it's rounded body or whether it's cutting, the length of the suture, and a lot. So if you love some of these videos, kindly hit the subscribe button and then follow my channel on this YouTube for more updates on Surgical 101.